All right. So for right now, starting out, before we begin communicating about upcoming events and other new adventures, I'd like us all to just breathe. And deeply. And now through the whole body, breathe again. And we breathe it out completely. I think we don't do that enough. We just breathe shallow too much. We're not breathing deeply enough. And when you breathe really deeply like that, the whole body breathes. The arms and the legs and the chest and the toes and the fingers and everything breathes. And then something happens. We ground, we center, we relax. We're at attention. Okay. So the topic of tonight's reveal is the word renewal. I think we don't ever consider winter as a renewal. And so renewal is an interesting theme for winter. But let's talk about that for just a minute. Are we in need of renewal? Yes. Is winter a season of reflection, introspection, reception? Yes. All of this is part of renewing. So yes, renewal. Now, as we become centered and calm, we are available. Listen, being available is very simple. It's not about having all the answers. It's not about standing at attention, being ready to give some big dialogue about something. Being available is listening. It's readiness in the most simple terms. Available. Calm, ready, and available. In that simple place, may you abide tonight. That is all you need, is just to be available. Now, we are going to, for just a minute, discuss the reason for the reveal events. So about 6 months ago, the Divine asked me to do reveal events quarterly, so every 3 months. And they would be on or around the equinox, okay, of the season. And so this is a gathering in. This is a touch point. This is a readiness that we can be ready for, that we can approach the coming changes for humanity, for the people of the world, for our own circles, and for the changing of the earth and the plan, the movement, and the adaptation of the plan, which affects everybody. And in the way that we come together and we gather in like this to talk and to share and to hear and to receive, allows us to coordinate, to hold one another, to tap one another, and to then approach together. It's really important that we approach together. Most of the time, we all feel like we're just flying free. We're out there solo in the world, and the whole challenge is on our shoulders to carry alone. But it's not. So we are together, and we approach together. So throughout the hour, this next hour, tap into your circles. And if you are at home and you're watching the broadcast, tune into the people that you connect with, who are part of your circles, and feel their presence, feel their heart space, and also tune in with us here tonight in this gathering and feel our heart space, and know that you are not alone, that you do not carry those challenges alone, that you are not solo, but that we are approaching together. So the first topic of tonight is going to be the topic of home. And I'm just wanting to tap the idea of home, as we have before tapped the idea of home. But this is not a lesson. Home is not a lesson tonight. Home is a remembrance. And so remember your home. Remember your true home. Remember the home in you. Remember the home on planet Earth. The space for all beings alike. One home. Remember that. Remember the feeling and the intention that you chose to come to this home, to be on this planet, to be a part of everyone's life, to contribute, to experience, to receive, to learn and understand, to know, and to attend. To attend. Okay? That is your participation. That is your part, to attend. And in so doing, we all benefit. We all expand. So this idea of home, be well in the idea. All together, all of us together, we together in one home. Okay. Moving forward now, discussing the adaptations for the coming times and our planet and the people and the plan. Planet, people, plan. Think of the word planet. Plan, 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 planet. The first part of this that I'd like to talk about tonight, the adaptation, has to do with space and spatial. The idea of what is spatial. This is an abstract identity of how we are separated or what divides us and what brings us closer. Closer, that which is local, that which is not local, and how we identify what we are near and what we are far from. Okay. Are we ever really separate? No. Okay. No, we're not ever separate. As we begin trying to let go of the idea of time, we will necessarily move out of the bounds of space and spatial recognition, spatial boundaries, spatial limitation. So as we begin to let go of the idea of time, which is just a measure, it's just a count, we will necessarily adapt away from spatial identifications and limitations. Division, or the continents that divide us, will no longer feel like they're doing so. We will be continentally integrated with all people of every continent. Continentally integrated. And so this may give rise to feelings or maybe visuals of expanding or elasticity, and then drawing closer. And so rather than the feeling that there is concrete absolutes in areas or classifications of distance spanning us, think on adaptabilities. Think on the nuance of availability. Think on the nuance of availability. Our collective understanding, our conscious agreements, which is what we all agree to every day. The sun is coming up, that means it's morning. It's morning, so I'm going to get out of bed. I'm getting out of bed, and so it's time for breakfast. After breakfast, it's time to go to work. All of these things are agreements. They really are conscious agreements. These are things that we dive into daily. It is 9 o'clock, and so now it's time for this. Get ready for the conscious, collective consciousness and these agreements that we all have, all of us, to adapt, to start trying new things, new nuances, new possibilities. okay? So, in the beginning, it's just going to feel like I don't feel as far away from those I love. I don't feel disconnected from the people on the other side of the continent that I'm watching on the news that are in this great devastation. I'm feeling really close to them. I'm feeling what they're feeling. I'm experiencing it. Empathy. The understandings are going to become much more fluid and flexible, that we are not divided, that continents that we perceive as being away from our continent, divided by oceans or land masses that we consider separate from us, we're going to begin understanding them as being far closer than we ever imagined. And that maybe it isn't miles that separate us, or land masses, or water that separates us. But maybe all along, we were really never any different. That all along, we have been at hand, one with another, one upon another. Okay, this sort of change, the change in agreements and consciousness, takes some time to seed, S-E-E-D. But when it starts, it goes necessarily advancing quickly. Because changes will occur in the way that we connect and communicate, which has already begun happening. So understand this, the technology that we use, telephones and internet and fax machines and apps and all of these things that keep us right immediate with people on the other side of the globe, those things are almost like a sneak preview. A sneak preview. They aren't the actual touch point. They're not the touch point. They're the movie trailer. They're the preview. All right? The real thing is consciousness. The real thing is awareness, connection, locale. The real thing is you, conscious, aware, in the mind of your loved one on the other side of the globe. That is the real thing. Your phone, your internet is a sneak preview, giving you the idea that you can connect with those far away, distanced from you. But pretty soon our own understanding about what unites us, what brings us closer, what really connects us, our ideas are going to change. From this moment here, as they have already begun to change for a number of people on this planet who no longer rely on phones to communicate or internet to see what's happening. But from this moment, for the majority of people, 3 years, there will be a beginning of profound integration. 5 years, there will be the sound being heard that people thought they could never hear. Only gifted people can hear those things. The thoughts, the feelings of those around you. 3 years, though, 3 years will be a great beginning, almost like a hit among a great deal of people, a great many people, almost like a shockwave going across the whole human race, okay? Something's going to change and we're all going to feel it. Until that time, count your technologies as in reverse. Count your technologies as being not the real thing, false connections, okay? But the real connections are coming. The real connections have to happen first before offshoots See how that usually works? Okay, we got the sneak preview. So no longer count your friends, your family, your humanity as being divided from you. They are not. There is no separation. Begin now in the understanding. You are really just a heartbeat away. We will be continentally integrated with all people of every continent, every land. All will agree to be so. Agree? We will all agree to be so. Okay, let's move on to the next one. A move toward adjustment and understanding on the pillars. So let me explain what this means. Here are some of the questions that are pillars in our the way we operate, the way we think about the world, the way we think about each other, the way we see the plan. Here are the questions. What guides us? What protects us? What is harmful to us? What makes us strong? What makes us united, a united, strong society? Why are we? Okay, so let's start with the first question. What guides us? So here's one pillar. What guides us? The heart or man? The heart or man? What guides us? A change of understanding is happening in these pillars. What guides us? The heart or man? The heart or man? Do you see it right now? Do you see it's like a split screen? Do you see that? I would say maybe half of the world would say the heart and the other half would say man. Do you see the split? Okay. What protects us? Mutual defenses versus angelic intervention. What protects us? I would say about equal split screen. Mutual defenses such as the defenses of every nation, the defenses of every economy, the defenses of every society and sociology, or angelic intervention. And half of us believe one, and half of us believe another. Here's another pillar. What is harmful to us? Ourself, our brothers, or nothing at all? Ourself, each other, or nothing at all? That is to say, are we beyond actual harm? Or are we constantly victims of harm caused by other people or by ourselves? Or are we really, really, really impervious to it?
There's no harm.
There is no harm. Can the divine be harmed? Are we divine? So here's another pillar. Okay. What makes us stronger? The light, each other, or nothing at all? The light, each other, or nothing at all? What makes us strong? What acts as strength for us? Given that we are beings of light, would more light make us stronger? Yeah. Given that we are beings of power, would more power make us stronger? That is to say, goodness, love, and acts of kindness. Well, that is power. As is compassion, friendliness, unity, onehood. Things of the divine would make us stronger. Or nothing at all. Just whatever haphazardly happens to occur randomly. And that perhaps we're just nothing at all. We're nothingness, so nothing can really make us stronger. So perhaps there is that other split screen. Those who believe there is much that brings us strength, and those who believe there is nothing that we can do. And then the question, what makes a united and strong society? The arm of man or the will of light? What makes a united, strong society? The arm of man, the flesh, the power of substance, or the will of light, the divine cause, the intuitive power, the song of love. And then finally, why are we? Why are we these, or why are we not? Why are we strong? Why are we not? Why are we united? Why are we not? Why are we guided? Why are we not? Why are we protected? Why are we not? These are fundamental pillars of how man thinks, of what he believes, of how he operates, of how he receives each other and himself. All of these beg the questions. Adjustment and understanding of the pillars. Okay, so really quick, I want to show you the horizon. So let's go 30 years. 30 years. For the last 30 years, 10, 20, 30, we have been on a ascent of loads of information and accessing information on how to do things better, how to be smarter, how to be more successful, how to be more affluent, how to be healthier, how to be more connected. And this has been gradually getting faster and stronger, this ascent of information of how to more. But honestly, although it has really been eye-opening, more questions than answers remain. And so we wonder, where is it all leading? Where does it all turn to? In the enterprise of all of this, how to become better, where will we become? What's the outcome? What's the end game? What's the final place? Now, so when you make that ascent and then you arrive at the top of this thing and you're like this, okay? We're right up there. We're right up there. And it's kind of momentous because it isn't this thing and it isn't this thing. It's really none of these things. It's none of the things that brought us to the top. But what they gave us propulsion. But what they gave us the know-how to climb. But what they gave us the wherewithal to seek and to reach. Do you see that? And so here we are, just about at this place of this. In wonder, what does it all mean? Why are we landing here? Where will it be? Now, we can look beyond where we are, and we can hope and design and so create. Or we can look behind us and speculate and theorize and learn and not create. And one who looks behind will have memory and a great deal of speculation, but not a lot of thrust. But they who look forward into the uncreated space will be blessed and will know that there is more than has ever been. Cast your eyes ahead. Open them. See the front. And do not wish and do not will for what has been to be different. And do not speculate and do not lament. And do not learn what has needed to be learned, that what has been over and over again, so many times relearned. Go forward. There are new lessons that await you. Life is not one repetitive value. Life is for hoping. Life is for not speculation, but attention on what will be. And the model begins first in the heart. What could be created? What might be created? What could we be? What could we bring? What could we have? And how could it all be? That is the charge of one who looks with thrust, with creativity, with honor. That is the view of God's. Look forward. Look forward and ask all the questions. What is possible? What can be? How can it be? And then, in the creation of it, you may ask, why has it never been before? Because it was waiting for me to bring it forward. And you are such one. See that? Okay. The understanding and the adjustments, they're growing within us. And every phase is a bright new learning, and every phase is a bright new becoming. And honestly, we're coming into new ways and new possibilities that we just may not have models for. But what you create in your heart, new models, new models, new models, breakthrough, breakthrough, breakthrough. Do you know that the feeling surrounding the words used to be, has been, was dry in the mouth, flavorless, low energy, not as much fire, not as much hope, not as much creation. Okay, now, so all of this that we're talking about right now is entailing a sense right about like here, right about here, right about here, a sense of power to do what has never been done. Power to begin what has never begun. And feel that. Get a taste for the new. Get a taste for the new. And feel it right here. Right here. Okay, let's go on to the next one. When an event of powerful impact happens, humanity rocks together. This has been historical. At wars, in times of catastrophic disasters, or in momentous miracles. When something of massive impact happens on this planet, we're all jolted together. And all of a sudden, even if it's just a fleeting period of time, a fleeting moment, We all feel like we're living in one household. Do we not? Do we not? But we do. Okay. We bond when we are put into the fire. Whether this is the fire of disaster or the fire of miracle and elation, we bond. A coming miracle makes fiery rebellion sit calmly. So now I'm going to read to you what Spirit gave me today. And then I want to talk about it and we'll flesh it out. A coming miracle makes fiery rebellion sit calmly, where more than 3 leaders come to an agreement. The heads of these nations will convene. Where one eye sees trust, the other will only see suspicion. More than these 3 will weigh heavy the actions of only them. All will watch and take meaning. But fire is only ever meant for creation and not destruction. These few leaders they wait on an understanding, and they want the world to hold stronger as peace. Okay, so let's look and read what that means. A coming miracle makes fiery rebellion sit calmly. A coming miracle. There's going to be a abrupt, fiery day where there has been catastrophic rebellion. Heat, fire, like fires, fires. And tumult, wanting something to push over, wanting something to collapse. And there is going to be chaos. On the entire other side of it, but almost as close as a heartbeat in time, immediately following, on the heels of that, more than 3 leaders of nations formerly divided, not in trust with each other. 3 leaders, more than 3 leaders, are going to come to an agreement, convene, new realization, common, something common. Something must happen. Meet, make an agreement, not just coming to a conscious agreement, a verbal, audible agreement, a agreement that becomes a plan, that someone can hold, that becomes dialogued and typed up and written, a formal agreement. The heads of these nations will convene, and where one eye sees trust in the same person, the other will see suspicion. Do you see the duality? Within the same person, one eye is trusting, one eye is suspicious. Where will it lean? What will they know that is right to do? Suspect or trust? More than these 3 will weigh heavy the actions of the 3. Other leaders will watch, other nations will give their speech, give their voice for what they think is going to happen. And there, of course, will be speculation and commentary. Okay. The promise of these 3 countries, the promise of these 3 leaders, is they have formerly been not big ball players, but small scratches in the import of what is usually talked about, of what is usually concerned for or cared about. In other words, these three leaders are, we would consider them small, and we would consider their countries less than important. But they are groundbreakers. They are healers. They are disruptions that have been clarified. And they will not only stand on a mark, they will turn the mark. There can be capital creation and former agreements remade without catastrophe, without lost brotherhood, without stepping aside what really matters to every nation. Unity, power, importance, humanity, solidarity, communion with the world. Markers. 3 are tied together in a calling, a call. But there may be more than 3. As they who have the opportunity to suppose there's a greater opportunity here and something more that can be enacted that will change the idea of what is right and what is helpful in the community of nations and what is not. Do you see that? The actions, okay. Everyone will watch and take meaning. The world will watch and take meaning. Meaning they will watch and presume, what does this mean? What does this mean to me? What does this mean to our country? What does this mean to the world? But fire is only ever meant for creation and not destruction. But fire is only ever meant for creation and not destruction. But fire is only creation and not destruction. And so fire will be creation found new upon destruction. And from destruction will be creation. And there will be a new birth. These few leaders wait on understanding, and they want the world to hold stronger at peace. Peace and peace for the world. And they wait, and they wait, and they wait. More than what you read, more of what you read than what you watch will be this story. More commentary and discussion will be in the word form of reading. Publications, then there will be newscasts. Okay? If we could give a timeline to this, inside 7 years. Inside 7 years. Inside of 7 years. Okay, this leads me to the next topic, governments. There are challenged citizenry below the equator. So I happen to have a globe here. And if anyone has a globe at home, maybe you want to pull it out and take a look at it. There are challenged citizenry below the equator. Governments will fracture and break in pieces. Dissenting arguments. There are these are the fledgling small nations who need counseling, who need caregiving. These are the fledgling small nations who need caregiving. We, nations who are counselors, nations who are of character, caregivers, and those nations know who they are responsible to help these smaller nations learn character, to watch their struggle and gently lend guidance, not overbearing, only to guide them, not to implement, not to impose new forms of government, not to impose new ideologies, not to impose new structure, not to infiltrate, but to guide fledgling countries who need to hear the sound of one who cares, who speaks by way of understanding, having been embattled before, having come to solidarity, having been grounded, and having a sense of character. There are these fledgling nations that are very challenged, and they are in need of mothering. We as citizens within these nations of character are like personified guidelines. Take this upon yourself and know that you are that. Okay? In the way that you engage on the internet, in the things that you create and send out into the world that these other nations can partake of, in the way that you speak of your brothers and sisters all over the world, in every nation, in the way that you idealize what humanity is, what humanity is capable of becoming. Because these nations look to you, and they are watching, and they are hearing you, and they are aware. And whether or not you intend, you are guiding them. So we must guide. We must caretake. We must mother. Okay. Some of these countries have been already disrupted and embroiled. And some of them are heating up. And they're going to be a little here and a little there in various places at one time, in various countries at one time. Keep them in your prayers. Pray. Send the prayer of your heart, wherever they may be, below the equator, wherever they may need you. Send your prayers in dialogues. Speak as one who speaks to another directly. Make an opening in your prayer. Ask, send this message to those nations that need it and the people that abide there. And then give your message directly as one speaking to another. Know that you are big brother and a big sister and a caretaker. You are mothering, you are friending, you are helping, and you are guiding. Okay, let's go on to the next part. This is talking about the physical body, the actual human body. We will be ageless. What is age but a count, a timeline, dots on a linear span? Okay. The being of the body will change. The actual being of the body is going to change. This already began in the year 2010. 2010 to 2015, there was a chemical reconfiguration in the human body. 2010 to 2015. I think there have been more than usual chemical disruptions, meaning to say, have you noticed from 2010 to 2015 more than usual, more frequent than usual, and more imposing than usual disruptions in your body? And I don't just mean in your health, but I mean almost in the way of PMS, in the chemistry of your body. Disruptions, like little fires going off, like little, like, whoa, something is changing, something, oh, what is happening right here? And I think we all wanted to give assignments. Oh, this is because of this, or maybe it's because of that, or maybe it's because of this. No. Chemical reconfigurations in the body. Chemistry, chemistry, chemistry. Chemical, but what is spiritual? Spiritual. Okay. From 2016 to 2018, there will be different cellular data surpass degenerative disruptions. Okay, data or information being relayed to the cells. Okay, every cell of the human body is like a tablet. It is like a book. It's like a book. Now, there is information that is already embedded, founded, original to the cell. And it is glory. Glory. Then there is data that we send consciously or unconsciously to the cell, to the cells. And that is such things as, oh, I'm at high risk for this disease and I'm going to die young. Or I am growing old. Or I can't ice skate. Or whatever it may be. Data received into the book, written into the cell. But there is a new message. There is a new sending. There is a new offer. 2016 to 2018. Streams of messages coming from the light. Coming from, okay, so they're telling me they're called brokers. Brokers of inheritance. That is to say, a broker is somebody who does what? Somebody who, how do you describe a broker? Somebody who, almost like somebody who has a source and then they give, right? They're like the in-between, right? They mete out or disseminate, okay? These are brokers of inheritance. And these brokers of inheritance on the other side of the veil are special messengers, they're special guides. And they are to change the molecular disruption that we've been under for many years. Where we have been influenced by wrong signals, disruptions, and false messages. And they are going to clear them, change them. Okay, re-harness them, rebuild them, re-involve us with correct messages, correct data, correct receivings that is of our inheritance, And this means that what we physically haven't been able to attend, to receive, to embody, that is of the light, we will have greater capacity. This is an offering freely given. This is an offer freely given. And it will be sent to everyone. Everyone. That's because we must be changed. And some do not know to do this on their own. And those that know it can be done may not know how. And so it will be done freely for all who can receive it, which is those who are aware of and easeful with the light will happen more readily. And those who are resistant, it will take longer. But nonetheless, it will be so. It will be given. It is just. It is just. And that really is so that everyone can partake for the more that is coming. Okay, 2019 to 2025. The energy will be different. Come upon greater light. Right. Okay, there are many ways that this is going to happen, that more light is going to be coming. And not just coming, that more light will be here, that more light will be had, felt, experienced, received, moved upon, agreed with. There are many ways that this is going to happen. One of the ways we just talked about, that is the cells of the body are going to be different and will have different capacities, greater capacities for learning, for understanding, for hope, and enlivenment for hope. Another way that this is going to happen is the chemistry of the body earth is going to change. And her fields, literally, like fields, grass and trees and flowers and plants and rivers and oceans and lakes and streams are going to be different. They are going to be renewal. They're going to have new chemistry as well. We are not the only body here. They're going to have new chemistry as she begins to awaken. And part of this is being done by people who are here on the earth, who are being given direction and guidance on how to make it happen, like blessings being received and enabled to give a different charge to bodies of water so that the plants can breathe differently and lend new oxygen, so that the air that we breathe can be chemically different, of a higher vibration, so that the fields that we walk upon can sing different notes to the feet. So this is another way the light is coming, more light is coming, and it will be received by everyone. There is another way that more light is coming. What we hear will change. The sound, the vibration, what we hear will have a different nuance. Okay. It isn't just the way that the sound is received audibly, but in the way that the chemistry of the body takes to it, in the way that the body responds to what we hear. You know how it can be said, oh, that person is, the world is silent to them. They don't receive anything. You can speak and not be heard. The lights are on, but no one's home. Right? We've all known people like this, right? We've all been this way. We have all been this way. That will change. The ability for the body to receive vibration, which is sound, and sound, which is light. The ability will be heightened. The vibration, the sound, not only meaning decibels, not really so much decibels, but the impact. The power of sound, the power of word will be heightened greatly. And the body's capacity to have it will be expanded. We will not miss messages. People will speak and we will be heard. Cries will sound from the planet and from the people, and we will not close our ears. We won't have that ability to. And we will not close our eyes, because the eyes do receive sound. They do. The eyes do hear. And the eyes will no longer close to suffering, to sorrow, to need, or to promise. Those things will be heard and seen and felt. And we will be operative in a way we haven't been. Now, one could say this will be very scholastic, and great learning will take place, and great intelligence will rise, but it will be heart-centered. And the feelings of the heart will know new things, new understandings, and new halves, new promise. Okay. So that is 2019 to 2025. All beings, all bodies, bodily, will receive a change of their charge, a change of their charge. Where are we in our field? What is we? So remember I said we're kind of in this place right here. Okay, kind of in this place right here. Where are we in our field? What is we?
Consciousness.
Consciousness.
Unity.
Agreement, understanding, hope, alivenment, creation, beginners. Not novices. That's not the same thing. What is a beginner? One who begins. One who begins. One who continually renews. Renew. A beginning is a renewal. A beginning is a renewal. And a renewal is creation. We are beginners. We are not small. We are not lowly. We are not impaired. We are misunderstood. As we begin to understand the life, the plan, the work, so will it be. New life, new plan, new work, more life, more of the plan, more work coming to fruition. Off the blueprints, move off the page, enact the writing, enact, be the plan, be the writing. You are creation. So what is we? The hope of all being united here in one moment. The hope of all being united here in one moment. We. Exactly. So lastly, I want to give a dialogue, briefly, to send you with. So how do we engage everything we just talked about? How do we view it? How do we receive it? How do we go with it? How do we make a plan power? How do we be the being? Go always on the notion with the understanding that there is more than what you see, that there is more than what you think, that there is more than what you have or have ever had. There is more. Do not feel small. Do not be small. Do not think small. Do not act small. Do not count each other small. There is more. Be and begin. Trust always in what is higher. If you pray, pray often with full trust. If you believe, act upon the things you believe, make it known. If you want to believe, but don't yet, give the want some kindling and fan the flame. And go even when you do not know. That small act of trust will make a massive bonfire. It is the action on the belief that makes one wise, not the belief in other people's actions. It is the acting on the belief, or even the possibility of a belief. You can go before you know. You can trust in that which is higher. Trust in that which is higher. Go on the know of one who is higher. Now, believe there is more than what you've seen. Believe you are not to conduct yourselves as ones who repeat history. Counter that belief. You do not need to repeat history. That is not your lot. Fathom a new way. Fathom more than what you know, more than what has been, more than what they say can be, and make it so. You're a beginner. You know how to create. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Go on the know of one who is higher, and a team and an army of heaven's light will surround you, and the creation will start, and it will have notes and colors and feelings and creativities and designs that have never been in your consciousness, and they never needed to be. Tap, tap, heaven's door. Tap, tap, the knowing. Receive, receive, receive more, and go on receiving, and go on receiving. There is more. It's for you if you would have it. As we close, I want to abide still in your space tonight after we leave, to practice the notion that there is no span that separates us and we are not divided. I will remain with you in your consciousness, in your feeling, in your presence, in the air around you. Okay? Right next to you, as if I am standing next to you. And you will feel that. Try it. Tonight, after you leave. And that's how we're going to end it. And it's for you to go where you don't know, because you trust and you do believe. Thank you, everyone, for joining. You're awesome. Until next time, bye.